Okay, folks, turn 13. Holder actually found 3 magic sites. A sunken tower, so a water gem, a fire gem, and an earth gem. Fantastic. First fire income, a little bit of earth income, and water income going up. Mushroom is moving up here to attack Antediluvian. I think this army can take them. Even if there are actually 50 of them, I think we can deal with it with the Mind Blast. We might lose all of our Shambler Thralls. That's very possible. But hopefully we'll take that, and then maybe this will be easy. Who knows? We are moving Ubosathla. No, Tuxa, don't do that. We're moving Ubosathla up here to Nukchia. I have 484 gold, which I could actually be spending. Well, I can't actually because I'm recruiting a Mind Lord. And working on an Amber Clan Mage. Don't work on an Amber Clan Mage. Work on a Slave Mage. They can go above ground. Amber Clan Mages are cheaper, but their upkeep cost is more because it's 92 versus 70. Slave Mages have slightly less upkeep, so they do eventually make up the price difference. It takes a long time because it's 60 gold, and the difference is 20, what is that, 22? So yeah, it takes them 3 years, about 35 turns to make up the cost difference, but they can't go above ground. Well, no, I want some fire. I want some fire randoms on the Amber Clan Mages, so yeah, keep recruiting Amber Clan. Fort done next turn. Muthalan is moving around to keep site searching. Vor Mifadreth is preaching and slowly spawning a few of these little guys. The polypal spawns. Tiny tentacles are armor negating, hilariously. They can only do 1 point of damage, though. And polypal spawns are not tough. They do have Prot 11, but they only have 5 hit points, so they're about as tough to kill as a Long Dead. The only thing that's nice about them at all is that you get them for free. And they are sacred, aren't they? They're not sacred, so yeah, there's literally nothing going for them. We've still got Fomoria under here. We've got Caelum over there, and we have these forts of Therodoses. So interesting, we're sneaking down into that area. Holber is moving up here to site search once again. Nagofa is building another temple to help get some more Dominion spread checks to try and push Therodos' Dominion out. He's got 2 candles in Endless Ocean now, which is no bueno. Very much no bueno. So I need more temples stat. And I also need more preaching polypal mothers, because by preaching we can push the Dominion in this province, the provinces where the polypal mothers are, rapidly up to the maximum, at which point all the temple checks will spill off those provinces into adjacent provinces and cause more temple checks to be generated there. I do have Dominion in this province for some odd reason, which is kind of funny. Almost tempted to try for Pranda again, but we do have a huge army of skin shifters just kind of sitting there like menacingly sharpening their axes, and he's put quite a bit of province defense in that province, so we'll let him have it. Like, really, you know, do we really need it? It would be nice, but we don't really need it. I am, however, I think going to recruit some more Gibboleths here. I'm going to do that because, well, maybe not over here. I am, I think, going to recruit some more Gibboleths here because, even though I know they're underwater only, having underwater defense forces, I will always need those. And, of course, Gibboleths will be pretty effective against Therodos if I can mass them. If I have a battery of 30 or 40 Gibboleths firing, they will do pretty significant damage to the ghosts as they try to attack me. So that would be very, very nice. And then the rest of my money this turn I will spend on... let's go Amber Clan Guard, I think. Yeah, Prot 17 Tritons. Not bad. They don't have Dark Vision, so their stats do go way down when they're fighting in the depths. Slave Guardians have actually better stats when fighting under darkness. So looking at where I might have to fight, that's Deep Sea. That's regular sea, but that's Deep Sea, so these two are owned by me. That one is the only Deep Sea province, so that's the only place where Dark Vision will be super, super relevant. That's fine. Let's actually, tell you what. We'll cancel 1 Amber Clan Guard to get 4 Slave Guardians, and that should be fine. There we go. So, everything is moving apace. Agartha's pulled back. Everything seems fine. We're just taking up more and more of the water. We'll take Underhome pretty soon as well, if we can manage that. We'll get a couple more recruitments of Gibboleths, and some of these troops, move somebody up, pick them up along the way, and go take Underhome. And once we've taken Underhome and Emerald Lake, which we are moving this army to go try and take Emerald Lake, then we will have to make decisions about where we want to go. We want to try and get up onto land, for one. We also want to, at some point, of course, we will have to push Therodos out of the water. And I'm not sure exactly when that's going to be. Not now, for sure. Have to wait until at least Conjuration 5, because I want to be able to summon full-sized water elementals. However, at Conjuration level 5, we also have the option of going above ground in more force, because we can cast Naiad Warriors at that point. And summon Kidnids. Now, in order to do that, we need to also have water boosters, because the only way we can do it is with Slave Mages, and Slave Mages only get Water 2 Nature 1 instead of Water 3 Nature 1. So, we also need to research Construction 4 so that we can craft a Robe of the Sea and give it to a Nature Random Slave Mage like Shigmel, so that he can then summon Kidnids. And of course, all of this requires lots of water gems, so we definitely need more water income. We've site-searched most of our territory up to Water 2, which is sufficient to find almost all water sites, but not quite all. And of course, Muthalan is going around site-searching for death. I should also site-search Endless Ocean, but I'll do that pretty much last, since it's right up on what would become the front lines if and when Therodos and I go to war. So, that's the turn. I don't think anything else terribly special is happening right now. Research priorities have not changed, still just burning for Conjuration 5 as hard as we can. Once we have Conjuration 5, we'll do Construction, we'll do more Thaumaturgy, because Thaumaturgy level 3 is also a critical goal for early age, I'm losing my mind, Relay, because it lets you turn your put your Aboleth's astral magic into Androdai. But of course, that's not super relevant until we get up on land. Enslaved Sea Trolls, also a pretty good summon, I've talked about that before. And yeah, generally going down Thaumaturgy is good for me, especially as it gets me to Master Enslave eventually. And we will, of course, need Master Enslave in the late game, because it's one of the main ways we can actually contest the land. So, thanks for watching. I will see you all in turn 14, where we should upgrade our fortage pretty significantly, and start thinking about our next steps. Hopefully we'll also have Antediluvian, unless these guys are tougher than I'm planning on, and if they are, then that will be sad, but, you know, these things happen. So, thanks for watching, see you next turn. Alright, turn 14. Helheim has declared Hugni the Vanhers, a beloved hero apparently, a new prophet. There was a battle in Antediluvia, which we won against the Amber Clan. It went pretty well. Once again, we as I expected, we lost all our Shambler Thralls, but, you know, Shambler Thralls, they die, it's kind of what they do. My troops, meanwhile, were able to use the distraction to murder enough Tritons to make it all worthwhile. So, they're gone. Can I also say those sound effects are a little bit... The Mind Blast is a little bit loud for me. Beyond that, unexpected events, Unrest, Astral Pearls, and we completed a fortress and a rock wall. So we've got a rock wall down here. Don't have the money to actually finish it right now, but we have this finished. We are recruiting more Amber Clan mages in the hunt for that, hunt for fire randoms. We have also recruited our first Mind Lord. All your troops are belong to us. Is here. He's just researching right now, just chilling out. The only other thing he could be doing that's super useful would be calling Krakens, which would be, I mean, Krakens would be effective, but not super effective against ghosts. And so I'm just gonna have him research for right now while we move towards the ability to do cool things with him, especially because he does give us 22 research points. It's not efficient to have Mind Lords sitting around researching, but we want to start building up Mind Lord and Aboleth power, as it were. We're also recruiting another Abodai to get the death magic. And Muthalan is still over here site searching. We are also building a new rock walls in Lake Vastness, where we have a temple as well, which is why we don't have the money to upgrade this fort this turn. We've got a temple here already. We're building another fort, and we're going to recruit that Polypal Mother over here in order to preach as soon as we can. We've actually pushed Therodos' Dominion out of the Darks, which is nice. We still have it in Endless Ocean, but if Endless Ocean dies, that's okay, because, you know, it's already very low population and very low income and all that, so it's not a huge deal. Yad Tadag is moving down to try and take Emerald Lake. Mushroom is moving up to try and take the Hungry Sea, which I think we can do. Even with only one badly injured Shambler Thrall, I think the Mind Blasts against standard Tritons, I think the Mind Blast will be effective enough. There is a Fomorian palisade here. I have not found Fomoria itself yet, which means I'm beginning to suspect it's right, like, here on the coast. Like, one of these two provinces. Like, this province might be Fomoria. This province might be Fomoria. I'm not sure. But we'll find out. That's Caelum, though. Caelum has gotten to the coast. However, they have been stopped by Therodos' presence along the coast, so good luck to them. May they have much joy of it. Over here, Rus appears to have pulled back, question mark. I don't know if they've pulled back all the way or not. I am absolutely going to try and take Pronda at some point here. But for right now, we'll let it be. It can be what it is. It's alright. No worries. We're not recruiting a whole lot of stuff right at the moment. We do have Sabish Ka with some troops who should be moving out. Just some Amber Clan Guard and some Slave Guardians. He can move out here to Lake Doom, and we can keep on pushing forward. I would also like to get, another fort down here somewhere. Like here in Emerald Lake. This fort is a decent position for facing off against Niefelheim. This fort and this fort, well, this fort will kind of give me a little bit more control over this northern area. This fort is good for supporting myself right here against Rus. If I could take that peninsula and that piece of water, that would be grand. I would love to do that. The question is, can I effectively do that, or rather, at what point can I effectively do that without having Rus rush in to murder me with bears? Because bears are somewhat difficult for me to handle. In fact, most good land troops are somewhat difficult for me to handle. So, we'll just keep on working, keep on researching, push on towards better things, and I think we'll get there pretty soon. So Ubasatla is also site-searching, building there, Halber is site-searching, and yeah, I think we should, if all goes well, take 2 provinces this turn, and then we can move Mushroom back down here to conquer the left nut of the Lake Penis, and we'll have our border down here all secured, so we'll take that. And at that point, the question will be, do we now turn our attention to trying to establish an above-water fort, or do we turn on Therodos? And that is an interesting question, and one that I honestly haven't fully answered for myself. My inclination... Oh, I've also got this army that's moving over here to gather more troops. Actually, I guess Sabish Ka doesn't need to move yet, so we can just patrol. My inclination is to say, fight Therodos and take all of the lake. And once I have all of the lake, once I have 100% water control, then I am very, very difficult to fight. And at that point, I can do the thing that water nations typically do, which is kind of sit back for a bit, research, develop, and prepare to erupt from the water at the time I choose. And of course, I can I can kind of at my leisure, as it were, fully site search the whole lake. Because, I mean, it's a significant grip of territory, to be honest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, like 23, 24 provinces. I'm bad at counting in these games. But, it's 20 plus provinces. Ending up with 20 plus provinces before turn 30 ain't bad. It's not, like, crushing game-winning victory, but it's not bad. And especially if they're almost completely safe. And then I can basically focus the whole efforts of my nation, or most of them, onto forcing myself onto land in one specific point, and just being like, look, you can't afford to spend everything fighting a war with me because you have other neighbors. I can afford to spend almost everything fighting a war with you. Just let me have this. That's an argument that I might potentially be able to make. And that would, of course, give me my Abodai, and the ability to use my aboleths, effectively, my astral magic, on land. So that would be really, really nice. But we'll see where it goes. At the very least, I want to get Conjuration 5 before I fight with Therodos. Conjuration 5 will, of course, open up those lovely, lovely water elementals to me. Down here, actually, I'll tell you what. I would really like to be recruiting a scout. I would love that. What if... Let's just swap that guy out for a slave mage for right now. Start recruiting some scouts so that I can get some vision over here into Therodos' underwater territory. And see how many ghosts he's built up. Because he's probably got, a fairly significant pile of ghosty goos. And slave mages are going to be my main combat force anyway. So we'll see how it goes. Slave mages can take war above ground. They can fight in the water. They're actually quite good for their price. I mean, like 175 gold sacred, so only 70 gold upkeep per year. For a 4-path mage, yeah, sign me up. Especially because they can be Water 3 or Astral 2, both of which are quite effective and useful. So, that's turn 14. I'll see y'all in turn 15. This should be very interesting in fairly short order. Like I said, this is going to be the next target, cleaning out Underhome. Might take a couple more turns worth of recruitment of troops, because Underhome is pretty heavily garrisoned by Amber Clan Guard, and I anticipate that Mushroom's army is going to take some damage in the Hungry Sea. So I'll need to recruit. I'll probably, in Deep Blue, recruit up, you know, some... There might be a few more Gibbelets. I've got these Gibbelets coming, so I've got 7 more Gibbelets to add to the 13. 20 is a pretty decent battery. I'll want to add some more, and then more Slave Guardians, or possibly just a whole bunch of Lobo Guard. In fact, I have 60 gold right now. Oh, they take Magic Leadership is the thing. I kind of want to save my Magic Leadership for Gibbelets. Because I have 30 Magic Leadership available just on Mushroom. Well, I'll send a mage with... Send a Slave Mage or two. Slave Mages have 20 Magic Leadership. So yeah, let's recruit some Lobo Guard. And we can also summon lesser water elementals if we need to. Okay, so that's the turn. See you next time. Okay, turn 15. Arthur Dent has claimed the Outer Throne. Fine. Searched a bunch of sites for magic sites, didn't find any. And then there were 2 battles in the Hungry Sea because Fomoria moved in. So, first of all, Mushroom's little army comes in here, wipes out these guys pretty handily. No real problem there. Did take a few casualties, not too many. And yeah, the Mind Blasters did their job. Everything got Mind Blasted and murdered. And it's all good. All good in the neighborhood. Some casualties, lost my Amber Clan Guard, lost 3 Slave Troopers, nobody really cares. Then comes the second battle in the Hungry Sea, and... holy shit. This is not usual from Fomoria, to recruit this many Fomorian giants. Clearly, he was doing this in order to go underwater, which is interesting because Fomorian kings already have Gift of Water Breathing, and normally if you're going underwater, you just recruit Nemedian warriors to go underwater. But he decided to recruit Fomorian giants. And in this case, that actually worked out really well for him, because Fomorian giants are essentially immune to being mind blasted to death, and this army has been leaning very, very heavily on mind blasts, on the power of my Gibbelets, as opposed to my melee troops. My melee troops basically exist only to stab people who have already been mind blasted to death. And so, as a result, what happens is, like, the Fomorian giants get mind blasted. They absolutely do. Bunch of them get mind blasted. But their MR is high enough that, generally speaking, no more than maybe a third or a quarter of them, well, it might be as many as half, are actually paralyzed at any given time. And it's not actually doing hardly any damage to them compared to their HP. So, my melee troops rout off very, very quickly, because there are relatively few of them. And the Fomorian giants get in here and start stabbing the Gibbelets. They also stab Mushroom. Mushroom is over here fighting. He's got attack 17, but he keeps getting repelled, I believe, because his defense score, well, his defense skill is pretty good as well. He does damage, and then he's killed by the enormously high damage bronze spears of the Fomorian giants. So my army is destroyed by Fomorian. Now this, as I've said before, this is an interesting move. First of all, recruiting 14 fucking Fomorian giants is a bit of an interesting move. Because they cost 75 gold a pop. So they're not the most expensive sacred giants out there, but they are expensive. 14 of these guys is over, like, what is that? 14 times 75. It's about 1,000 gold. So this was a high commitment. Higher commitment by a significant margin than my army, in addition to composed to counter it. Plus 7 Nemedian warriors who are pretty expensive in their own rights, led by a Fomorian king. This is probably 2,000 gold or about of commitment. And so it just mopped the floor with my relatively low commitment expansion party. This expansion party was, what, about 600, 700 gold, something like that, even if you count the Slave Prince, which I got for free at the start of the game. So, yeah, that was unfortunate. We did, however, manage to take Emerald Lake Not much to say there. We just kind of fought all these Triton troopers and netted them and wiped them out. My nets did rout, but my other troops killed the enemy quickly enough that the nets didn't get off the battlefield. So, not a problem. I lost 12 slave troopers, 4 slave guardians. Whatever. So, I've contacted Fomoria and basically told him, get out of my lake. This is my lake. You can't be here. I will kill you if you stay here, which I will. I absolutely will, because as tough as Fomorian giants may be, and as tough as Fomorian kings may be, a lot of their spells don't work underwater, and they don't have a good counter to being punched by water elementals. So, my first Mind Lord, all your troops are belong to us, is moving up here. We've got, we're recruiting another Amber Clan mage, we've got 4 mages loaded up with water gems, and we will absolutely go and cast water elementals at him until he goes away. Also, we can summon sea serpents. Sea serpents are actually pretty vicious little critters underwater. They do high damage and they inflict a lot of poison. So, yeah, sea serpents could be another way that I deal with this situation. I don't know what Fomoria's bless is because he didn't bless, but so he said that this is in his cap circle, and he's implied that these are also in his cap circle, which makes me think his capital is actually here. In any case, regardless of where it is, I'm moving in to take Lake Fortune, and basically I've told him, like, you know what, we can make a deal, I don't have to be in your land, whatever, but you can't be in my lake, so we're gonna kick him out. Now, if he tries to push down, I'll have time to react to that, because if he pushes down to here, then it's 1-2 before he reaches Lake Vastness. I'm organizing up here, 1-2. We would have a fight in Lake Vastness where I'm building this fort, and I think I'm building up these Slave Guardians who have the higher damage Bone Tridents. Attack 11, not great, but a turn of recruitment of those guys will give me a little bit more power, and I already have a few Gibbolets, which will help, and a few other miscellaneous troops under the command of Sabish Ka. So, Sabish Ka can actually stay here for now. So, point being, I can deploy, if he pushes, I can begin to move to counter with a number of troops and a pretty mean battery of water elemental summoners. In addition, I will be hitting Conjuration level 4 this turn. Conjuration level 4 will open up School of Sharks, which enables me to effectively cast like Underwater Swarm, but it's sharks. So, you know, that could be useful. This will also open up Voice of Apsu, but Voice of Apsu can't target underwater, so it's not actually useful to me, hilariously. And I can't summon Ice Drakes either because they would drown. So, you know, not a whole lot here I can do. I can cast Light of the Northern Star once I hit Conjuration level 4, which would open up more Mind Burn opportunities and potentially Paralyze or eventually Soul Slay to my Slave Mages. But of course, I don't have the research for all of those. I'm going down Construction because I need to get a Robe of the Sea King, as I said before, after I hit Conjuration level 5 to open up Naiad Warriors. The Kydnids, which are, or Kydnids, whatever they are. They're crucial to my invasion of the surface world is what they are. And that is Rus. Rus is doing quite well with themselves as well. So, yeah, we're in negotiations there. My fort up here will be upgraded in 2 turns. Azag is moving back to... Actually, Azag should move up there. He can join the Waiting Mage Corps. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 summon, and then that I'm recruiting this turn, and then all your troops are belong to us. 7 mages, all spamming out water elementals if necessary. 7 mages throwing out lesser water elementals can beat Fomorian giants, especially underwater, since lesser water elementals have those 2 armor-piercing attacks, so they can deal damage. And they're size 3. No, they're size 4. So there's still only 1 per square. But with that many coming out, they will be able to lap around the sides of the Fomorian giants and do some damage with their punches. So, yeah. Basically, if he keeps coming, I'm going to kill him. I hope he doesn't keep coming, because that would be a huge nuisance, although losing these 2 provinces would only hurt me by about 50 income. I can meet him at Lake Vastness, stop him, and then roll back up. And take the Lake Penis back for my own. And yeah, like I said, I'm going to take Lake Fortune. This is in Therodos' area, so I'm going to leave that for Therodos, I guess, but we're definitely going to take this, and if Fomoria won't, like, back down, then we'll also start raiding his coast, and take Stone Heavens, and pop back into the lake where you can't really do anything about it, you know, stuff like that. So, you know, we're not letting this go unanswered. And within a few turns, If he doesn't push down, I'm actually going to leave my mages here researching for another couple of turns, because I'd really, really like to get Conjuration level 5 as fast as possible. So having all your troops researching, and Azog researching, and my new recruit researching, and all these guys researching would help a lot, since they are 16 research points each. But, you know, we'll do what we have to do. I've also got Slave Guardians being recruited here, the Triton Slave Guardians, so we're forming up the Underwater Defense Force, essentially. And the said Underwater Defense Force will not brook invasion. Yeah, these Bone Tridents actually do quite a bit of damage. It's interesting, though, that Slave Guardians do 18 damage, and the Tritons actually do 20. The Atlantean Slave Guardians do 18, the Tritons do 20. They're just significantly better underwater. I mean, stat-wise, they have an extra point of defense, they have a couple more hit points, they have a point of strength extra, and actually do 2 extra damage because of the way rounding works for two-handed weapons. So, yeah, definitely. Definitely. Unfortunately, that means I don't have the gold to recruit a Polypal Mother this turn, but needs must when the devil drives, as they say. Muthalan is going to go over here, site search that province, and then he'll swing back up and site search a bunch of more provinces. Ubosathla will come... He'll actually back down here so that he can also grab gems and join the Water Elemental Brigade if necessary. Excuse me. And we'll see how it goes. I've built up quite a stock of Astral Pearls as well. I can't really use them right now. I don't have any Astral Spells researched. So they're just there, waiting. I can alchemize them if I need to, or later on I'll be able to use them to cast my Thaumaturgy spells like Mind Vessel and Enslave Sea Trolls. So we'll see how it goes. Overall, I'm fairly content with my position. Could be better, but it could obviously be worse. And I'm confident that Fomoria cannot take this fight and doesn't want to take this fight. I'm quite confident that I can push Fomoria out of the water here, and if necessary, I can actually fort this province. Because Fomoria can only come underwater with his valuable Fomorian kings and units accompanying them or sacreds. He can't easily bring any other mages underwater, and a lot of the important air spells can't be cast underwater. For example, air elementals cannot be summoned underwater, so there goes a lot of the killing power of air. Also, if I recall correctly... Nope, Mist Form can actually be cast underwater, but I can hit him with Water Strike or something to break Mist Form. Wouldn't be too hard. And of course I can spam Numbness on him, so like, thugging underwater with Fomorian Kings is a bad idea. And other than that, you have to take troops down here, and any of Fomoria's troops that go underwater face the basic problem that water elementals fight underwater better than any troops do. So you can see these guys, I mean, they are amphibious, so they don't have any penalties or anything. But still, just stat-wise, Fomorian giants really struggle against water elementals because their attack density is very low. They can't even use their javelins underwater. Water elementals take half damage from piercing weapons. And yeah, I can just zerg these guys with water elementals and beat them to death. So, shouldn't be too much of a problem. It's more of a nuisance than an actual issue. Fomoria's expansion here has been very, very interesting, and it says interesting things about their relationship with Tir Na. Tir Na seems to have been kind of captured here. Like, this is a bullshit starting position. I'm gonna be real. This is terrible. That's awful. Oh god. All of their movement except out here is blocked by rivers. Well, now I feel bad. I'm the one who generated this map. I didn't even notice this. Aw, shit. Yeah, because then the only way they can get out of this little zone is literally through Agartha. Oh god, I do feel bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Tir Na. I didn't mean to do that to you. Agartha doesn't care because most of their troops are... Like, some of their troops are amphibious and they can just walk across rivers. So it doesn't really hurt them. But Tir Na is boned. And that is completely my fault as the guy who generated the map. I double-checked the terrain in general, kind of casually, to make sure we didn't have any huge blobs of like 4 farms right next to each other. We still have some blobs, but they're not nearly so huge, and they're at least a little bit spaced out. But I forgot to double-check these rivers. I should have added a couple more crossing points at least. Oof. Welp. Also, Tir Na has 2 thrones that he's actually taken. I mean, that ain't bad. He's got the Throne of Fire, so he has Fire 3 mages, which is kind of cool. And a +3 attack bless. And then he's got another throne, I don't know which one it is, but he hasn't claimed it yet. Okay, well, you know, I don't know. We'll see how it goes for him. For right now, we're just focused on kicking the giants out of our swamp, I mean our lake, and setting ourselves up for the remainder of the game. So, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in turn 16.